Welcome into Fantasy AI. Moving on. All right, we're going to look at auction drafts today. Hey, Tyreek Hill is up for bid. So, auction drafts, you get the freedom to do what you want. As opposed to a snake draft, we don't like snake drafts. You don't get any freedom, right? We want the freedom to take Christian McCaffrey if we're the 8th pick, right? We want the freedom to take Josh Allen no matter which pick we are, because we get to bid. Same with Tyreek Hill or any of your favorites. You get to spend money and let the money decide who gets who, right? So I want to make sure you realize it's not real cash money. It's a salary cap. Everyone starts with $100, say, and you get to spend that on amount of players you buy. Like in one of my leagues, we buy 6 players, and then we do a snake draft after that. And I will warn you that in auction drafts, with all the bidding, and like I have a 12 team, it can take 3-4 hours to do the draft. Even with a snake here, if we bid on them all, it'd take all night. So the auction drafts are a little longer. So that's why we do the snake after that. But all the good players are bought up in here. So you can see this is fictitious. You can spend it on all quarterbacks. You don't have to buy 2 of each. This is just an example. You could go 1 quarterback and 5 running backs, or however you want to split it up. So how do you decide what the costs are? Well, people are bidding. Here's an example of your sheet, though, you might have available. So I like to put them in consensus rankings. You use consensus rankings so you know how much they're going to go and what order they're going to go most likely. And then you put the prices here. These are prices from the year before's draft. So you have an idea of what they're going for. I have a whole video on setting up this sheet. One of the drafting rules. Go watch that. It's important. But anyway, get these sheets drafted. Then when you're bidding, you can see, well, gosh, he should go about this. So, got that figured out? Well, who should we take then? Well, let's take a look here. We can see some of the auction should-haves last year, like Justin Jefferson. This is the top 10. 2.7. Sam Laporta's 2.79. Got a couple tight ends here that are difference makers, right? Mostert, Jalen Hurts. Now you can see they're different positions. This is how, using these formula and these values, you can, apples and oranges, you can compare unlike things. So here are the numbers, and here are your top 10 should-haves last year. These are who you should have taken to make a difference, right? So let's come over to here. We can see, hey, how do we figure those should-have things out? Well, let's start with Christian McCaffrey. He averaged 20.5. We take the 10th or the 11th player at his position and see what a difference the top guy makes and the second guy. But we do that with tight ends too. We take the top tight end, you find the 10th player, and you say, hey, how much of a difference do these players make than the 10th? I use the 10th because, hey, there's a lot of times 10th teams, and you see, if you don't even take one, you say you have the 10th player, you see the difference. So that's where these numbers come from. We can see what value, how a tight end, the top tight end might be versus the top receiver. We can get a quantitative difference. So here we go with that. Now, like I'm saying, this is what we want to focus on instead of who scored the most. Because you can see here, well, when you get down to it, these quarterbacks are, I want this one versus that one. Well, there's a point difference, a 0.1 difference, not a whole point. So where these tight ends, this first tight end is heads and shoulders above the 10th tight end. So why would you try to be focusing on there? So anyway, you get the point. We can use these numbers here to try to help us gauge who to take. And here's a complete list of them, right, from last year. But you could see that there isn't very many, right? We're already down to 1, and after 1, it really doesn't matter. It's kind of randomness takes over. But you can see, oh my gosh, this top page. Look how much Christian McCaffrey importance. So, and Josh Allen importance, Kyren Williams last year. And Tyreek can see. So you could see and try to use these. You see the different positions. You can try to use these to figure out who to take. So start here when we're making our decision here. And you want to get as many of these guys crammed in to here, right? Well, I'm telling you, you can't just take the top 5 here and 6 because money won't allow it, right? We got to figure out how we can get these. I've highlighted the difference players, the difference makers. Well, how are we going to get as many of these into here, right? It's trying to, like a game almost. You can see those tight ends were different, but they, if you go back to the chart, they weren't returning as much. Where these quarterbacks were giving you 5 points. Christian McCaffrey was 7 points, right? So we got to try to figure out how to get as many of those into there. All right, so let's separate them into their compartments, and we've got them back where the differences they all have. So we can see the differences here. And then we're going to go ahead and add in the cost. Now, these are the costs in my league. Your league's going to be different. In this league, we have 2 quarterbacks, and there's 12 teams. So there is a premium put on these quarterbacks that might, on your 1 quarterback league, be different. It's just going to depend, and if you have a tight end or not. So, but this is, I will show you how I do on mine. But at the end, I'm going to rank them to the players that, hey, it should be universal that we want in these kind of auctions. So you can see here, I got here. I tried to then quantify it. We put price, or then I put in the point per dollar spent. So one of the most efficient here is CeeDee Lamb, 5.0. You only gave $25. You got that 5 bonus over that 10th player. And Christian McCaffrey, just because he scores so much, is 6. So those are 2 of the best on the board. Obviously, Keenan Allen popped in here. He did what an incredible average he had. And, of course, he's not going to repeat. But that's where I'm coming next with you. All right, so then I've got them sorted like this so we can see point per thing. But then I went ahead and put them in how sure, or here's just the rankings. I then put them all together, sorted them back to see which ones are here. So you can see some of we start here about CeeDee Lamb, some of these tight ends. Yeah, you're getting a great bargain. And it just shows you that, hey, if you got a tight end and it drops off after 5 so quick that we might want to buy one of those cheap tight ends for $1 or $2, $6, $8, however much you're going to have to spend. Because they're worth the difference because of the drop off. But anyway, I got it like this. So then we're going to go ahead and I put them in, I ranked in the order that I'm just certain that they're going to repeat. Like right down here at the bottom, you can see this is how best to explain. Joe Flacco is not going to be on this list for those 4 games again. No. Keenan Allen, the reports are he's a little out of shape, crowded thing. He's not going to be like the 4th or 5th wide receiver again. So Mostert, a lot of crowd there, and then I kind of put them in the rank here of where I think they're going to do it again. And this is how sure, let's take Justin Jefferson. He's ranked his career average 13.4, got 13.7 last year. I think he's going to do about right that again, no matter what's going on there, So anyway, I ranked him in order of thing I'm going to put him in. Now I've got him to where we can go through them. So let's go through them and start off with my favorites in an auction draft is Justin Jefferson and Amon St. Brown. So, of course, Justin Jefferson. Like I'm saying, 13.74. Pretty well his life average is that. So we could trust that. Now, where we're going to make some hay here with him, I think, is they're not going to like this whole rookie getting hurt over there. And now it's Sam Darnold. They're not going to trust Sam Darnold. Hey, we're in love with Sam Darnold, but hey, he's 56 games in. Drafted number 3 all. He's got draft pedigree. 1,800 passing attempts. So anyway, he's just someone they're just throwing in there. He's got a lot of, and the schedule. Look at that 10th easy schedule. Justin Jefferson has the 8th easiest schedule. I just really like Justin Jefferson. I don't think that Sam Darnold. And now Justin Jefferson's currently ranked 5. But I'm hoping we get him a little cheaper. He's been coming down a little bit, 3, 4, 5. This is rank history. So, hey, maybe he'd be 6 or 7 before we start. I doubt it. But, hey, we'll see how that Sam Darnold being the starter all year works into there. So I really like me some Justin Jefferson, Amon St. Brown. Look at him there. Just going to be steady. Same easy. He got a 14th schedule. That isn't bad. Jared Goff over here with the quarterback schedule 8th. So, hey, number 3 offense. Number 2 pass offense. Amon St. Brown's the key of that. Really? And Jameson Williams, well, I'm not that worried there. Now, Laporta, of course, we are, and he's on the list here too. But just being on one of the top teams, and I think that we're going to he's currently ranked 6th. All right? I love that. We're going to get him a little cheap too. That isn't spending a lot of money on that list, and you're going to get a chance at one of those top ones. So, love those two. Josh Allen, of course. Hey, 4 years in a row as the top quarterback. All right, they got him ranked 3rd. So what I like here is, hey, he's the number 1 guy for the last 4 years. Team offense is the 4th. They're one of the best offenses. Now, I know the worry here is the receivers are gone. Curtis Samuel's a little banged up too. But got good tight end here with Dalton Kincaid. That's going to be part of it. James Cook. But I really like Josh Allen. I think he's going to be a good, safe pick there. I mean, you can't take the 500 yards rushing away and this 15 touchdowns. He's one of the top average. So love Josh Allen. Here, Tyreek Hill, of course. Just safe. So obviously I got a lot of safe, and sure they're going to be there, people up here. And I just look for him in your draft because that difference maker, you saw it. It's there. Now, I want to find out about this hand injury. Make sure there's nothing wrong with that hand. And so next up we got Debo and Christian McCaffrey. Now you'd say, well, why isn't Christian McCaffrey number 1? Well, hey, yeah, he's a great value. You get your money's worth. I just, worried that he's going to be able to do it 2 years in a row without getting any kind of dinged up or hurt. They got the middle of the road 17th schedule. Number 1 ranking. Hey, he is the number 1 ranking. But this is something we need to talk about here on this auction drafts is, if I don't really, I take Christian McCaffrey. That's who you are on any of these people I've got on this list. I'll take them, and I want to make sure if I don't take Christian McCaffrey, he goes for what the value is. If he's supposed to go for $53, and I like him, I'm going to push him all the way up there to make sure somebody doesn't get him cheap. Because if you could somehow get, 2 of these big ones cheap, well, then you're not supposed to allow that. So anyway, we're bidding the people up we want to the price that they're supposed to go, and more if we really like them. They fit into our thing, especially, on people like these, the Amon St. Browns, where they're going to be going cheap. They're 6th, and I've got him 3rd. I really like him. He's my 3rd receiver. Justin Jefferson is too. I like them both. So, hey, if I can get them cheap, you bid them up to where they're at. That's what we're talking about here. So, Mark Andrews and David Njoku. So, the Mark Andrews one, you're going to have to pay premium dollars for, right? And, well, you're going to have to earn that 1.2 more. He's going to get the Njoku. Njoku should go $1 or free in my draft. Yours, hey, you might even have tight ends. But, so, hey, do I spend the money on Mark Andrews and get that? Or do I take the $1 here? Because there's a drop-off in that tight ends. And look at Njoku. Hey, they got him ranked 12th. Right? I can get him free later. So I think that you push Mark Andrews up to make sure they're paying something. And if they just let him go way too cheap, well, then you end up with Mark Andrews. But if that doesn't work out, well, then you take Njoku here free. So you got to kind of just make your draft strategy before you go in there. But these are some of the players I really like for being able to buy. Right? I get to pick them. And they got to be one of the top scorers. We saw, or they don't make it. They're not a difference maker. Jalen Hurts was a difference maker. Chance of him performing at the 1, 2, 3 quarterback or pretty dang good. I like him. Right? Team 8. Got an easy, look at this. Rushing schedule's good. The passing schedule's middle. But hey, they're always one of the top offensive teams. We're going to like them. So, and that rushing from Jalen Hurts is just a difference maker. And the chance of someone else popping up there like Jared Goff is no, it's not going to happen. He's going to be one of the top 4, him and Lamar Jackson here. Same deal. So you push them, if you push players like this to the cost of what they are, you'd be willing to take them. But in an auction bid, you're also making sure that people don't go cheap. And if they go way too cheap, you got to take them. That's just how auction drafts work. You got to be ready to protect that player and take him if you have to. So let's go through some of the David Montgomery. I really like him. Right? I've talked about him. Look at that average. Right? Bring in Jonathan Taylor. Well, look at that. Jonathan Taylor is currently ranked, let's look, 4th. David Montgomery, they've been moving him back up. They've been listening to me a little bit. But you can see that he's at 17th. Well, 4th and 17th. Well, look at those averages. Huh? I mean, they were the same. He gets a touchdown. I know everyone's worried about Gibbs, right? Everyone's worried about Gibbs. But hey, you know what? He's the receiving back. David Montgomery's the touchdown back, and he's going to get those touchdowns. So we're liking players like Amon St. Brown, David Montgomery, from a number 3 offense. We did a video on it. Go shopping at the bottom offenses for a top 10 player. Just don't work that way. So, Sam Laporta, or CD, now, and Sam Laporta. Well, they're both going to be very expensive. Look at that. He's number 1 ranked, CD Lamb. So, and bring back up Tyreek Hill, who looks like he's number 2 ranked, right? Well, let's go over the average here first. Tyreek Hill, who only played in 16 games, right, had a little bit better average than CD. I think people are forgetting that. Now, I do love CD's schedule. Look at that second schedule. But here again, do I want to take CD Lamb? No, I think he's going to have a downfall. This is all according if he gets signed ahead of time. All right, he holds out to that last week. Don't take him. I'm telling you, don't take him. But when I say don't take him, well, you got to make sure that he goes near what the price is in an auction league, or you take him. If he's supposed to go $25 in your auction league and he's going for $15, well, you got to keep pushing that. Otherwise, you take him. That's the kind of thing you have to, the freedom, the difference you have in an auction league. So you're prepared to take anyone, but we take the bargains or the approved players that we like. So we went over Sam Laporta. We got some more on here. Jonathan Taylor, see how he does with Anthony Richardson a full year. Anthony Richardson going to steal some of his points at the goal line, and that kind of causes a problem. But hey, with this high average Jonathan Taylor has, 13.7, that's one of the best. Right? You compared that, with some of the others, it doesn't compare with Kyren Williams. But the reason I have Kyren Williams and Travis Kelce down here on the list is I'm a little scared of that. Travis Kelce went Hollywood on us. He ended up the third tight end last year, where he's no longer the sure bet to be the number 1 tight end. He's like the 3rd bet. Does that mean if all of a sudden Travis Kelce's going cheaper than he should, I wouldn't take him? No, I'd take him. It's just a matter of how cheap they're going, and we got to bid them up to the place. And Kyren Williams here, we like him. But the chances of him repeating that great year aren't as good. So you move him down the list a little bit. But I'm prepared to take any of these players if the price is right. And that's how the mindset you have to have. Some players I really love that aren't really on here is DJ Moore and Barkley. I really think that they're going to be just some of the best years here. Excuse me, the Bears. So Caleb Williams is looking good. Keenan Allen, the word isn't in the best of shape. I think DJ Moore with his 3rd easiest schedule, right? 4th easiest passing schedule. Boy, I like this. I like that right there. So, and let's start off with Barkley here. Excuse me. Love his situation. Look at that average. 13.3, one of the look at the touch count. And that's with the Giants. They're moving him up, unfortunately, to 6. They've been moving him up in the rankings a little bit, but I really like it. Second easiest schedule. Great team. And speaking of the team scoring, well, last year when he averaged that 13.3, he was on the Giants. Now he's going to be on Philadelphia and has a better team scoring, more touchdown, more opportunity. So, all right, that's some of the players that I like there. If you're liking what you're seeing, please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe button. All right, I am going to warning this. I'm going to fill my shorts. Going to make a short warning. Going to fill my shorts. All right, looking at top 10 auction buys. David Montgomery, we literally love him. Touchdown a game, going cheap. Jalen Hurts, a little expensive, but certainly going to be one of the top quarterbacks. David Montgomery, target him. Free, got him ranked 12th. Hey, 7th, 5th in scoring probably. Mark Andrews, tight end, number 2. If he goes cheap enough, take him. Too expensive to just pass, take Njoku. Christian McCaffrey, I like him. If his money's right, hey, he's worth it. He's worth every dollar. Deebo Samuel, hey, Ayuk holding out. He's last man standing there. Very good return on your investment there. Tyreek Hill, everyone loves Tyreek Hill. Well, hey, we love him too. He's well worth the money. Josh Allen's well worth the money. 4 years in a row as the top quarterback. Don't sleep on him. Amon St. Brown, they got him ranked 6th. I got him ranked 3rd. Love him there. And Justin Jefferson, don't let him slip. Don't sleep on him, ranked 5th. He always gets the points there. I love him.